Hello everyone. So guys, I'm sure you've practiced row span and call span as we discussed in the earlier session. Today we're going to work on a very important part of HTML, which is making forms. Now I'm sure you all are aware of online forms because every day, somewhere or the other we fill the online forms. Now what does a form do? A form takes in values from the user and submits it to the database of the client side, that means the website, and it helps connect client and user. So they have your data and you can easily connect them. So form is a very important portion of HTML. Now when we talk about the forms, the only part wherein HTML plays is designing the layout of the forms. What I mean to say is creating the fields. Designing them would be done by CSS, and the functionality part of how it is saved and it goes to the database is done by the technology like .NET and PHP, right? So we're going to design a simple form and I'll explain you every field one by one. So let's open our notepad file. So let's just get rid of this table thing. Okay, perfect. Now when I start making my form, the first tag which I need to keep in mind is form tag. Now the first field is the most basic field, a text box, like a text box in which you write your name, right? So we'll begin with the first basic element, which is your text box in which you write your name, and we begin it with input tag. Now input tag is used. Why? Because it specifies that input is being taken from the user. Now we use the input tag and we give its type. Input type is equal to text, since it's a text box. And then I give a name. Name is equal to my name. And then I close it and then I save it. Let's see how does it display. Perfect. So it's a box. Now guys, this is a box, but how does the user know that what he or she has to fill in it? So we need to give a label, and that is done by writing simply what you want to display on the front end. So I want to display full name, and then I save it, and here you go. Our first field is done. Now you must be wondering why I have used this property. Now this property does not play a role in HTML, but it plays the role when we talk about, suppose if we take example of PHP. So while coding, the unique name of the field which will be used is this name. So you need to give a unique identity to all the input types or all the elements which are being used in the form, and try to not use spaces or caps. It has to be simple and without spaces. If you want to use, you can use special character like underscore. So it's very simple. Now we move on to the next. Suppose I want to ask for the phone number. Again, since it's an input field, so I'm going to write input type is equal to text and name is equal to phone. See, this name can be anything which you decide. It's not mandatory that you need to give phone or my name. It's your choice. Just you need to keep in mind is that it has to be unique and it has to be used without spaces or anything, right? So here we go about the second field and we're done. Now since they are coming in same line, we all know we need to use PR tag. And done. Okay. So this is how we design a text box. So if we need to make a password field, what we are going to do is input type is equal to password. sorry, input type is equal to password, name is equal to anything but what is unique, and I'm done. So I'm going to use br tag every time I make a new field so that it comes in the second line, and I save it. See, now when you type inside, can you see this? Yep. So that is what a password type does. Now let's move on to a few more fields like drop down, radio buttons, check boxes. So how do we design a radio button? I'm sure you all are aware of radio buttons. I'm going to design it for you. Let's take two fields like gender and design them using radio button. So input type is equal to radio, name is equal to gender, and value is equal to male. And then what is shown to the user, right? Coming to the next field, I'm going to just copy it to save my time. Here we go. The only thing which changes is male becomes female. Now guys, as you all can see, the name here taken is same. Now you would be saying that you said it has to be unique, but here the radio button does the job of a group, correct? Since there are two values for same element, we are using the same name, but again the value here is different. So in the first case it is name dot value is male, and in the second case name dot value is female. So since it's part of a same group, we'll give the name same but then take the value different. So I hope you understand the concept of radio button. Perfect guys. See, your radio button is ready. Now when we make radio button, you need to understand that here you have option of choosing only one option. You cannot click both the elements. You need to choose either male or female. So you have an option of choosing only one field. Now let's move on to a radio button. A checkbox. So to make a checkbox, we use input type is equal to checkbox. Name is equal to, let's say, food, and value is equal to, let's say, Chinese. Okay, and then what is displayed to the user? Choose your food type. Correct. I'll just copy this. Let's have three fields. So one is Chinese, one is Italian, and one is Mexican. Italian and Mexican. And I use the BR tag. And then I save it. Now our checkbox is ready. Now what is the difference between a checkbox and a radio button? See, it's giving me option of choosing multiple values, wherein checkbox gave me option of choosing only one. So that is the basic difference between a radio button and a checkbox. Now let's move on to our next field, which is a drop down. So let's make a list of 3 countries. Okay, so country. How do we make? We use a select tag, give its name, and then give the options which are going to be listed inside that. Similarly, as we make a list, we want to make a list here using option tag. Option USA and option China, and I am done. I will just close the select tag and then save it. Okay, so we forgot to use BR tag. So we save the data and then refresh it. Here's our list. So based on our requirement, we can choose the data. Now if you want any field to be by default on the top, we missed a thing. We need to specify the value inside also, as I told you, for the coding purposes. And we give the third value, and the third value is done. And we save it. Now if you want any particular item of the list to be displayed on top by default, what we are going to do is we're going to just write selected in front of it, and then we save it. And here you go. It was on the second number, but by default it is now coming on the first number. So a basic form is now ready for you, having a text box, a password field, a radio button and a checkbox and a drop down. Now the most important part, which is going to submit data, is your submit button. So how do we make it? We use input type is equal to button, and then we give the name, submit, and value also submit, and close it, and let's save it and see. Perfect. And then once I'm done with everything, I'm going to close my form tag. Done. I made a mistake. I didn't close the select tag. So we most of the times commit such mistakes, and you guys also need to be very much aware of it. Now you see, we are done. So this is your form which we've made in HTML, and it's now ready with all the different fields. I hope you have understood this session. I'll be back soon. Bye bye.